One time, check 1, 2, 2 time, 1, 2, 1, 2, and finally 3. Are you ready? Following is not as funny, however, there is still some light in the tunnel. Have you ever contemplated how the power dynamics of politics can be manipulated by the very leaders who take an oath to protect it? The narrative of Igor Matovic, the erstwhile Prime Minister of Slovakia, offers a captivating insight. His journey in politics commenced as an entrepreneur. He co-founded a regional publishing house, Region Press, in 1997. This journalistic background not only laid the foundation for his political career, but also sharpened his acumen for detecting corruption and honed his public communication skills. Notably, Matovic has been unwavering in his crusade against corruption, often going to great lengths to unveil corrupt practices within the political structure. In 2010, Matovic took a plunge into the political sphere, shaping the Ordinary People and Independent Personalities Party, also known as Olano. The party's primary mission was explicit: to tackle corruption head-on and to foster transparency. This vision struck a chord with the Slovak populace, leading Olano to secure 4 seats in the parliamentary election that same year. By 2012, Matovic had etched his name as a potent force in Slovak politics, his relentless dedication to exposing corruption playing a significant role in his ascent. Olano clinched 16 seats in the parliamentary election, further bolstering Matovic's influence. His tenacity and significant contributions to unmasking corruption have undeniably left an indelible mark on Slovak politics. 10 years into his political journey in 2020, Matovic reached the pinnacle of his career by becoming the Prime Minister of Slovakia. His tenure, however, was not without criticism. Despite his efforts to combat corruption and improve governance, Matovic faced backlash over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and the management of coalition politics. In particular, his decision to secretly procure the Russian Sputnik V vaccine raised many eyebrows, leading to a political crisis in early 2021. This crisis culminated in Matovic's resignation as Prime Minister in March 2021. Yet, he remained in the government, taking on the role of Minister of Finance. His critics argue that his leadership style was erratic and lacked the strategic foresight necessary for a nation's leader. They point to his failure to manage the coalition effectively and to his controversial decisions during the pandemic as evidence of his incompetency. On the other hand, his supporters credit him for his relentless pursuit of transparency and anti-corruption. They believe his efforts have shed light on the dark corners of Slovak politics and paved the way for necessary reforms. Tragically, Igor Matovic's political career is a concoction of daring anti-corruption initiatives intermingled with questionable leadership decisions. His formidable achievements in unmasking corruption have etched an indelible mark on Slovak politics. However, his perceived incompetency in leadership and decision-making have also been significantly impactful. A glaring example of this was his handling of the COVID-19 crisis, which was widely criticized for its lack of effectiveness and extremities in misbehavior, once even called expat citizens, barking dogs. His controversial decisions often ignited public outcry, further demonstrating his questionable leadership skills and throwing shadows of shame on Slovakian passholders. Additionally, Matovic failed to maintain unity within his party, sparking constant theaters leading to internal squabbles and division. This narrative of Igor Matovic serves as a stark reminder that while combating is a noble pursuit, the ability to lead effectively, manage crises and maintain unity are equally vital in the intricate world of politics. We better care and act because wrongdoers do not wait to secure their safety. The fight against corruption is not just a political battle, it's a societal one. It is a struggle that demands the active participation of every citizen. What Igor Matovic's legacy teaches us is that while leaders play a crucial role, the ultimate power lies in the hands of the people. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us, the citizens, to continue holding our leaders accountable. We must demand transparency, and when corruption is exposed, we should call for the immediate disqualification of the involved individuals, irrespective of their position. We must ensure that no one is above the law. Moreover, we should advocate for legal processes in international courts against corrupt leaders. This will not only deter potential corruptors, but also restore faith in the justice system, both domestically and internationally. Remember, every voice counts. The collective action of citizens can bring about significant change. Together, we can continue Matovic's fight against corruption and ensure a more transparent and accountable political system. Let's make a difference. In the wake of Matovic's revelations, it's crucial to understand the importance of legal action in combating corruption. International law plays a vital role here, providing a framework for countries to cooperate and hold each other accountable. Matovic's findings, if properly documented and substantiated, could serve as potent evidence in a lawsuit. This evidence could expose the depth of corruption, shining light on those hidden crevices where the corrupt have found shelter. But how does one go about filing a lawsuit in an international court? First, it's important to gather all available evidence and ensure it's admissible in court. This includes any official documents, witness testimonies, or other forms of evidence that can substantiate the claims. Next, you'll need to find legal representation. This could be a lawyer or a non-governmental organization specializing in international law. They can guide you through the complex process of filing a lawsuit, ensuring that all necessary steps are taken and that the case is presented in the most effective way. Lastly, patience is key. The wheels of justice may turn slowly, but with determination and resilience, they do turn. With the right legal action, we can ensure that corruption is not left unchecked. We can turn the tide and ensure that those who abuse their positions of power are held accountable. This is not just a fight for justice, but a fight for the very soul of our democracy. In the fight against corruption, the role of young lawyers and law students is pivotal. They are the fresh minds, the new blood that can bring innovative strategies and perspectives to the legal battle against corruption. Their role goes beyond just assisting in the creation of lawsuits against corrupt leaders. They can be the driving force, helping to accelerate the process of clearing corruption from our systems. As these young legal eagles delve deeper into the intricacies of international law, they gain the potential to bring about significant change. They can contribute to strengthening the legal framework, making it more robust and resistant to the ploys of those who seek to manipulate it for their own gain. Their energy, their passion, their commitment to upholding justice can be the catalyst that tips the scales in favor of truth and integrity. The task is not easy. It requires dedication, perseverance, and a strong sense of ethics. But the rewards are immense, not just in terms of personal achievement, but in the knowledge that they are making a tangible difference in society. They are the ones who can ensure that the legacy of corruption does not continue to taint our future. So, to all the young lawyers and law students out there, we urge you to step forward, to use your knowledge and your skills not just for personal advancement, but for the greater good, to help us turn the tide against corruption. Let's join hands in this noble pursuit and together make a difference in our society. Corruption is a dangerous cycle that can perpetuate through generations. It's like a poison that seeps into the fabric of society, contaminating everything it touches. Eric Kalinak, who followed in his uncle's footsteps of corruption, serves as a prime example of this phenomenon, partaking in covering and denial of scandals. The old generation of corruptors breeding a new one poses a significant threat to the very foundation of our society. This cycle of corruption, this breeding of deceit and dishonesty, is not a problem that can be ignored. It's a ticking time bomb threatening to explode and spread its toxic fallout far and wide. The longer we allow it to fester, the harder it will be to eradicate. That's why it's so crucial to break this cycle, to stop the spread of corruption before it takes root, to ensure that the legacy we leave for future generations is one of honesty, integrity, and respect for the rule of law. It's a daunting task, but it's not impossible. With the right tools, the right strategies, and the determination to make a difference, we can turn the tide against corruption. But it requires vigilance. It requires proactivity. It requires us to not just react to instances of corruption, but to actively seek them out and bring them to light. To not just punish the corrupt, but to prevent corruption from taking place. To not just treat the symptoms, but to cure the disease. So let's remain vigilant. Let's remain proactive. Let's continue the fight against corruption because the future of our society depends on it. So what have we extrapolated and learned from past errors? The case of Igor Matovic underscores the urgent need for a shift in our electorate law. Our current system, which is heavily centered on individual candidates, can often lead to incompetency when managing critical positions of power. Matovic's journey from a rise to power to an eventual downfall serves as a glaring example of this failure. In the pursuit of personal ambition, the essential qualities of leadership, such as integrity, competence, and respect for the rule of law, can often be overlooked. This candidate-centric approach can therefore breed an environment conducive to corruption and ineffectiveness, as we have witnessed with Slovakian administrations from day one in the year 1993. Yes, systematic errors are built in the structure of the state from the beginning. To avoid such pitfalls, it's time to propose a shift to a more target-centric approach. This involves focusing on the needs of the nation and its people rather than the ambitions of the individual candidates. By prioritizing the goals of the nation, we can ensure that the leaders who come to power are those who are genuinely dedicated to serving the people and upholding the principles of democracy. A change in the electorate law is not just a preventive measure against corruption, but it is also a path towards competent leadership and a more effective political system. With these changes, we are not just reacting to the symptoms of corruption, but we are actively working towards a cure. In the end, the fight against corruption is not just about penalizing the corrupt, but about changing the system that allows corruption to breed in the first place. And that begins with a change in our electorate law. So better think twice, get in touch, and stop being part of the problem. Take part on designing solutions.